Hi, I'm Jessica with the Santa Paula Art Museum, and welcome to Art Club! This project is called Hot Cup of Tea, and we're creating a still life painting of a teacup sitting on a table, with hot tea inside and steam coming out of it. This week we are inspired by the artist Henri Matisse, who loved to make still life paintings, and he loved making scenes with lots of patterns and textures. A still life is a type of painting that a lot of artists like to make. A still life is when you use things around your house and put them on a table and arrange them in an interesting way. Matisse used lots of things around his house, like cups and vases and even his goldfish. We are using a teacup on the table for our still life. Let's get started with your 9x12 paper being vertically, meaning the longer sides are on the left and right, and the shorter sides are on the bottom and the top. The supplies you'll be using is your pastels, a black marker, something to adhese, so glue stick, glue, or tape, your cotton ball, and your 9x6 piece of paper. So the first step is for us to glue our 9x6 paper at the bottom half of the page. Again, you can use glue, glue stick, or any kind of tape so that you can adhese it together. For this next step, we're going to use our black marker and start drawing our teacup. Our first step is to start by creating an oval on the top half of the page. After you've done that, let's create the bottom of the cup by making a small arch on the middle of the bottom half of the page. The next step is to create lines from our oval to the mark we made at the bottom. So far, we have our cup. Now let's add the handle and maybe also a plate. So this next step is to create 2 dots on the right side of our cup to create the handles. Then 2 more dots at the bottom, and you're going to connect the outer dots and the inner dots connect also. This is how we have our handle. Next, let's eyeball an inch from the bottom of the cup. Let's make a dot here at the bottom of the cup. And on the left and the right, we're going to connect them in a big oval to create our plate. Let's make another dot about an inch from the first dot. We're going to connect them in a big oval to create our plate. One last touch to our drawing is to create the steam that is coming from the cup above. Let's make some wavy lines that go upward. Notice how the steam only rises from the top of the oval, and we don't want it inside the cup because we're going to draw inside. Now let's get started on our background. So using your pastels, I'm going to use orange because it's nice and bright. Choose 2 or 3 colors. You can use any colors you like. We're going to create some patterns. For our background, let's start by drawing some straight lines in the top half. We're going to make them diagonal lines, which means they go across at an angle. So start at the center here, then go up and towards the right side. Make sure your lines don't go over the cup. We want it to look like the cup is in front of the patterns on the wall behind. Next, do it the opposite direction. Our eyes will have fun looking at all these patterns. This is a great example of our vocabulary word patterns. Patterns are what we make when we repeat lines or shapes over and over. Those repeated lines or shapes make a pattern, and patterns are so much fun because it keeps your eyes very busy and your eyes have a lot of fun looking at all the details. Because I wanted to thicken my lines, I'm adding in color. Add some more patterns by adding in some dots in between our lines. This background pattern is looking very good. We're going to use pastels to finally color in the cup of tea. I'm going to show the inside of the mug or cup by making lines that go across from the left to right in an arched way, just to give it some sense of depth. Now for the outside of the cup, we can add some more patterns by alternating between both straight lines and wavy lines. Again, you are also allowed to use any colors you'd like. The choice is up to you. So I'm going to start off by doing wavy lines at the top, making sure that there's space in between so that I can alternate lines, and then I'll go in with lines in the white pastel. Great! This next step is to decorate the handle, and we can make another pattern. Very good! Another option for patterns is using dots, big solid colors of shape. Now let's add a pattern at the bottom half of our page. I like zigzags, so let's add those. This is our last step with the pastels, which is to decorate the plate, and you can add some rings of color for the plate just to make it look like it has depth. Our final step is to glue the cotton balls to the top of our cup to make it look like the steam on the wavy lines we created earlier in the beginning. All I'm doing is pulling at the cotton ball to make the strands as thin as possible so that it can become the steam. It's okay if it comes off in chunks also. It's a good idea to either have the cotton as thick or as thin as you want it to. So using either glue from a bottle, a glue stick, or tape, you can attach the cotton to the top. That concludes our project, Hot Cup of Tea. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.